watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to this edition of Dufferin Life. I'm your host, Teena Avery. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited for our first guest that's on the show tonight. I'm always excited for all of my guests, of course, but we're going to be talking furry cows. And I don't know if you know what a furry cow is, but we're going to learn all about furry cows. Joining me today, we have Tyler Gerard. He's from the Erin Hill Acres Farm. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
I'm really excited, as you can tell. We were talking before we went on air, and I have a thing for cows. I love cows. I'm not gonna, if you've watched before, I'm not telling my cow story again. But I wanted to talk about furry cows. Now, they're not normally called furry cows, right?
No, they are Highland cattle.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call them hairy coos.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great. They have long horns, lots of fur, lots of hair.
They are adorable. They are adorable looking. And I did actually do a little bit of research, and I think that they are. They date back to like the 6th century, like they have been here for quite the amount of time. So
quite some time. Yeah, they come from Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe the Queen only would eat Highland cattle beef.
Okay.
Kind of a neat fact. But yeah, we like to take pictures with them and pet them and brush them.
I'm like, no, I don't want to eat them.
No,
they're way
they're
too
beautiful,
cute. They're
super
way
cute.
too cute.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the farm and the history of the farm, and tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so our family has owned the farm for 3 years now. Before we owned the farm, it was Winter Singer's Christmas Tree Farm.
Okay.
The Winter Singers owned the farm for, I think it was 45 years.
Okay.
We bought the farm, and it was a Christmas tree business for years and years,
Mm-hmm.
and we knew that we needed to grow and be more than just a Christmas tree farm.
Okay.
So we've planted over 10,000 lavender plants.
Wow.
We have goats, we have chickens, we now have our beautiful cows, and we have lots of different photo opportunities. We grow sunflowers, pumpkins, lavender.
Amazing.
Christmas trees, of course.
Christmas trees, of course. We all love Christmas trees. But no, that's really amazing. And you just took a receipt of the cattle not that long ago, just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, not long ago at all. They're settling in nicely. We have 2 heifers, a bull and a steer.
Okay.
Yeah, the bull and the steer are still fairly young. They're about 6 months old. And the heifers, I believe, are 2 and 3.
So I'm assuming the heifers are the females.
They're the females,
So what's the difference between a bull and a steer?
A bull can reproduce, and a steer cannot.
See?
Yes.
You learn new things with me all the time.
Yes.
I'm learning new things for sure. So so how big do they grow? Are they?
It really depends on the lineage and the bloodlines and everything else. Just like people, you can have really tall people and really small people, big and all different sizes, right? So our 2 and 3 year olds are fully grown.
Okay.
And they range from around 1,000 to 1,200 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
So they're big animals. They're not small. Our bull and our steer are still young, like I said, about 6 months old. And they're like a really big dog right now.
Okay.
So bigger than a big dog, but yeah,
Right,
they're cute and cuddly still, but yeah.
So do they have that reddish coat to them?
Yeah, so we have, you can get them in just like genetics, right? So you can get the blondes, you can get the reddish coats, you can actually get like a darker black.
Okay.
So ours are fairly light and reddish.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to look right at the camera and go, well, you know that I like that they're reddish, right? Absolutely.
Yes.
So let's talk about what kind of a transition it is to move cows from one place to another. Is there a process to it?
Yes. So I went out with my dad towards London Way, and we met with our trucker who has a livestock trailer. We corralled the cattle into a little area, into a chute essentially that they follow their way through, and then get them onto the trailer. I believe one of the young bull, his name is Theodore.
Oh, love it.
Theodore escaped the chute.
Oh no.
And decided to run around, and it was a bit of fun we had, but we got him back in, and he's settling nicely back at our place now. So yeah, in the livestock trailer, made their way over, and basically we opened the gate, and the gate of the door of the livestock trailer blocks the other way, so that there's our farm gate on this side and our livestock trailer on that side, and then we open up the corrals, and the cows come running out into their new home, and they're
awesome. So is there an adjustment period? Like, because I mean, if you think about it, when we move, there's an adjustment period for you.
You got
to
to find the
get used to
grocery store.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
The same thing, right? So with our cattle, we actually bought the round bale feeder with the cows, as well as a few of their water troughs and stuff like that.
So it familiarizes them.
Yeah, so they're familiar. They know where the grocery store is. We put it out in our field. We got the hay going, and they kind of, when we first let them out of the trailer, they kind of did a bit of a lap around the paddock area of what they have, kind of see where maybe they can get out, see where the food is, see where the water is.
Okay.
And then, yeah, they've got to adjust. You know, the 6-month-olds are freshly weaned from their mothers. So their mothers aren't the heifers that we have.
Oh, okay.
So they're freshly weaned from their mom, so they're still saying, you know, she was over in a different paddock on the same farm before, but now they're nowhere in sight.
So that's a bit of an
Mom,
adjustment.
where are you?
That would be an adjustment for sure.
But they're very healthy. We got them vet checked at the other location where we bought them from. They're very healthy. They were good to be weaned. They were in different paddocks beforehand. We did it all proper, and everything's good. So.
Great.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into some really exciting ways about how you can see the furry cows. But let's talk a little bit about, like, is there a process of getting them used to having people around?
Yes. So we are doing some events with a lower capacity and bringing people in bit by bit. We try to keep our numbers on our farm to a minimum on certain events so that we can handle the flow of people.
Right.
If we opened up the floodgates online, people would book,
Right.
and we would be able to have thousands of people. But it takes so much staff and so much of everything to be able to handle so many people. So we're at the capacity now where we can handle up to so many. We set that on our online booking system.
Right.
People can book online on our website. There are walk-in events where you can just come drive up and get admission at the farm shop to come into our farm. But we highly recommend to book online. It helps us staff.
Right.
We do wood-fired pizzas. You can
nice.
book online your wood-fired pizza so that we know how much to get. Basically, we sell out of pizza every single event that we have, and we only have so much dough that we bring out in the morning to proof to make these pizzas.
Right.
So if we book pizzas online, I know we're talking cows here, but pizza's a big part of the business too.
You know what? Like, I want to go see a cow, but I want a piece of pizza too. Like, I want, maybe some live music, whatever happens to be happening.
Exactly.
But we're gonna talk about some of the exact events that are coming.
Yeah.
So when the new cows come to the farm,
right?
Is there an adjustment? Like, do you try to bond with the animals, like, so that they're used to, you know, the family that's there, like, on a regular basis, or the staff?
The previous owner was a very nice lady, and the cows will come right up to the fence for women.
Okay.
So for myself, I'm handling the cows, I'm helping feed them and making sure they're good, and I'm going up and petting them and so on. So I'm trying to familiarize them with me as much as possible so that they know, hey, this guy's gonna give me food and everything's gonna be okay.
Right. Yeah.
That being said, if it's one of my sisters or my mom that comes up to the fence and just says, hey, Clover, hey, Thistle, come on over here, in a woman's voice, and the cows just come right over.
Well, that's awesome.
So, yeah, it really depends. They've familiarized themselves with women. They're getting better with me as the days go by.
Right.
Thistle doesn't necessarily want me to be too close to her.
Okay.
With that being said, big top secret information here that she is pregnant and we are going to have a calf.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So I understand she wants her space.
Right. Like any pregnant woman.
Yes.
You just don't touch me, just leave me alone.
She
yeah?
wants her space, yeah. So yeah, it's very exciting. They're getting used to things, and yeah, they're settling in.
Well, okay, so we have a couple events that we want to talk about for sure. So you've got something coming up on March 29th and 30th. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, so we have Easter is early this year, if you didn't know. So we're having Easter extravaganza.
Wonderful.
Easter egg hunts. Again, with the online thing, you can book. We have age groups for egg hunts.
Okay.
So it's all online as to how old, but they're separated out into age groups. We'll have egg hunts. There'll be live music. There'll be the pizza.
Right.
Yeah, there are lots of things going on. It'll be a lot of fun.
Wonderful. And I think you're going to check the website for me. It's erinhillacres.farm, I believe. That information is going to come up there. I think I may have reversed the dates. I think it's actually 30th, 31st, but you're going to go online so that you can make your reservations.
It's all online,
and
yeah.
you're going to get all that information for sure.
Yeah.
So, and then coming up after that, not that far away from that, is Mother's Day. So
yes, we have a Mother's Day event happening. We're working on live music, again, pizza, we have the cows, the goats, the chickens, we do wagon rides.
Very cool.
Lots of fun stuff. It's always fun happening. Always positive.
It's always positive. And we're not leaving the fathers out. There's a Father's Day event coming. We'll get into those details, or you can find those details online.
Yes.
Absolutely, for sure. But there's a lot of events coming. I noticed there's a lot. So obviously you've had the farm for a few years. How did the whole event start, and how
the events kind of started when our first Christmas that we had the farm. We had so many Christmas trees that we can sell from our field, and so many pre-cut trees that we bring in from other farms. And basically, we ran out of trees that we could cut in our field because we want to keep them coming for years to rejuvenate.
Right.
And we ran out of pre-cut trees that we had in our field, or in the front of the farm. Now, when you're running a Christmas tree business and you run out of trees on the first week of December, you start to think of other ways to do things. So that brought sparked us up to get live music, to do the pizza oven, to bring people to the farm to just enjoy the outdoors, the fresh air, and so on. So the want and crave that everyone had for those events in the early days kind of really jump-started everything, and we've kind of grabbed a hold, and now we're doing more and more events as we go. So
that is absolutely amazing. I'm excited. I so want to go see the furry cows. Tyler, I want to thank you so much for joining us and sharing all this information. And I'll be out there. So thanks for coming on.
We'll see you on the farm.
You will for sure. And don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
I know, I feel like a crazy upside-down world out there, even on our best days.
You save who you can't save.
What choice do we have?
BP 80 over 43. Don't let her die.
You okay?
It's not safe.
She is my partner.
What am I missing? Who would want to harm him? Come on!
All new Chicago Wednesday on City TV, or stream it on City TV Plus.
Focus better.
Partner better.
Sleep better.
Breathe better.
Love better. Work better. Friend better. unwind better.
Everything gets better when you get active.
Welcome back to Dufferin Life. Thanks so much for staying with us. And if you're just tuning in, well, you tuned in at a great time. Are you feeling relaxed? Do you feel like you need to find your zen, right? Well, joining me today, she's going to help you, not me, because I'm way too talkative and way too hyper. I have Lauren Wolf from Lauren Wolf Yoga and Coaching. Lauren, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so great.
I do know Lauren from other things that happen in this world. She is one of the most beautiful people and so mellow and relaxed. And I thought, this is maybe what you need, and this is maybe what I need as well. So let's talk about the basics. Let's talk about some of the benefits of yoga.
Absolutely. So yoga is beneficial for so many people in so many ways. For myself, I came to yoga looking for something that would help me with migraines and honestly panic attacks.
Okay.
That was a huge part of what was keeping me from being just functional every day. And I found yoga, and it was the most incredible thing that I'd experienced. Up until that, I thought I had tried everything. And after the first class, I was calm. I could breathe deeply, and my mind wasn't busy, and I had no pain, and it was fantastic. So yoga is really great for a lot of people who have anxiety, depression, migraines and headaches. It's also very energizing, so it helps with things like fatigue, and there are certain poses and breath work that we can do for that. But physically, it's also fantastic for your body, for improving mobility, especially as we age, because mobility is just something that slowly disappears. We need to keep that mobility up, and yoga is great for that. It's great for improving your flexibility, your circulation, your immunity, your sleep.
So why are we not all doing this?
Great question.
I don't get it. Why are we not all doing this? And I will tell you, Lauren's trying to drag me in slowly but surely, and she might get me there. Yeah, she may be the very first person to get me there, because I am one of those people. I'm one of those people that has always got a busy mind, always. And I tried yoga a few years ago, and God bless the woman that was trying very hard to make me be a part of the group, and literally I laid down, and we were at the end of everything, and we were just trying to relax and let our bodies flow into the floor. And I looked at my sister like, I gotta go.
And that's so many people's experience. Yeah. It is, because it's so hard to turn off our busy minds. Mm-hmm. It takes time. But moving the body and getting out of the head and into the body is one of the biggest benefits of yoga. It helps to calm the mind eventually, but it takes practice. Mm-hmm. And there are different kinds of yoga for different people, because we all need something different.
Right, and that makes perfect sense. And my sister just drills it into my head all the time, like, you just have to practice, and I'm just like, I know, and I'll find the time to do that practice. So Lauren's going to help me too. So
absolutely.
Absolutely. So let's start talking about breathing, because you did mention breathing, because I think for some people in different situations, you may not have panic attacks, but just that whole, we don't normally breathe properly. We're mouth breathers for the most part, right? So let's talk a little about the importance of breathing, and then maybe we can show them how to do some breathing. Yeah,
for sure. So breath work, or pranayama as it's called in Sanskrit in yoga, pranayama means breath control. And so we have so many different techniques in yoga that have many different benefits depending on the technique. And breathing, especially through the nose, like you said, is not something that most of us are used to, especially in our sleep. And it does take some training. And breathing through our nose is incredibly beneficial for many reasons. It filters the air that we take in. Like, there's a reason our noses work the way that they do. It regulates how much air we're taking in or releasing out at any given time. And it also helps to calm our nervous system. There are certain breathing techniques, which I think we all need at this point in time, that help to soothe our anxiety and our busy minds, and help to really regulate our nervous systems, which is a hugely important thing to do.
Absolutely. So can we teach everybody a breathing technique?
Absolutely, yeah. So the one that I would love to share with you is called square breathing.
Okay.
You might also know it as equal breath, and there's a couple ways to do it. For anyone who has high or low blood pressure, you'll not hold the breath at all. But for those of us who don't have any of those issues, we can hold the breath as well.
Okay.
So it can be in 2 parts or 4 parts. We'll do it in 4 parts today.
Okay.
But for those who don't want to hold the breath, you can just skip that. So it's called samavriti, which is equal breath, and you're going to be counting the breath. Let's do 4 counts today.
Okay.
And so we're aiming for the same number on the inhale and the exhale.
Okay.
Which is going to be 4. But we'll also add some retention. And holding the breath at both the top and the bottom has different benefits as well. So it's often known as square breathing because of those holds. We'll breathe in for 4, hold for 4,
Okay.
breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. And that's the pattern, and we'll just keep going in, hold, out, hold.
Okay.
So take a moment, find a tall spine, because that way breath and energy can flow freely. Yes, you got it, which is why I sit like this a lot of the time. And when you're ready, you'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Super simple. Really also very effective for if you have insomnia. This
Okay.
is a great practice
Oh,
to
this is a
do
good one for
if
me.
you're trying to fall asleep and you're having trouble. I'm someone who's also suffered from insomnia for many years, and when I do this, if I'm having trouble sleeping, it's rare that I get past 5 cycles before I fall asleep. It's really
That's
helpful.
amazing, because
Yeah.
I am that person that wakes up, and honestly, and it's a busy mind wake up too. Like if I wake up long enough to think about something that I have to do, then I get up and I do it.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to go back to sleep, because I'm just like, I'll just get up for 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night, and then I'll just go back to sleep for a couple hours and then get up, and then by 2 o'clock that next afternoon, you're like, I've just hit that wall.
Exactly.
That, you know, and it's just, that's great.
And that sounds very familiar. And so the counting and focusing on the breath gives the mind something to do. Because the mind is a problem solver. It wants to be busy. It wants to solve problems. But when you're trying to sleep, that's not the most great, like, it's not the best time to be problem solving. So giving the mind a task helps to calm everything else. It's kind of a distraction from your distractions.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I'm going to try.
Awesome.
Really, absolutely. So is there benefit to doing longer than 4, like because I mean, I had worked with a wellness center years ago, and I know they had talked about, it wasn't quite the square though, it was not the hold at the end, but it was just the whole, the breathe in, but they had talked about doing like 10 to 15.
Yeah, exactly. So 4 is a great place to start, but going longer, the longer you can hold your breath, or the longer you can inhale 4 and exhale 4 smoothly and consistently, the slower your heart rate will be, and the slower your thoughts will be. The wonderful thing about breath work is that the breath and the mind are inextricably linked. And what we do to one affects the other. It's a lot easier to control or change our breath than it is to change our mind.
Oh my
at
goodness,
will.
yes. Yeah, like, I can't even tell you.
So we use the breath to change the mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, I love doing this show. I learn so many things doing this show. You know, I learn about cows, and now I'm learning about how I can battle my insomnia and quiet the very active mind that I have. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about yoga too, because I mean, I think for some people too, there's a hesitancy to try it because they're like, I'm not flexible. I can't do that. I don't have good balance. I don't like, and you know, last thing you want to do is go to a yoga class and, you know, topple over. So,
but you know what? It happens to all of us. And you're right, a lot of people are very intimidated to come to, especially their first class. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to feel like they don't know what they're doing. And being a beginner at something is very vulnerable. But it's also so amazing because the whole world of that topic is now suddenly open to you.
Right.
And you get to kind of figure out where you fit in that and where it can work for you. And that's what I really would encourage people to do, is like find a version of yoga, breathwork, or meditation, mindfulness, whatever it is for you, movement, like of any kind, that works for you, that gets you in your body. That's the whole point. We're so about the mind that we forget we also have a body.
Yes.
And it's very important. It carries us through this lifetime, and we need to take care of it as much as it takes care of us. And yoga, the point is awareness. The point is to know yourself better inside and out. So finding a nice slow-paced class to start with is really fantastic, and that might be a slow flow. It might be yin yoga, especially if you have a very busy mind. Yin is all about focus and mindfulness and figuring out, okay, what is on my mind? What's happening in my body? It's about feeling so much deeper. You do not have to be any level of flexibility to come to a yoga class. That's what everyone always says to me, oh, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible. We see Instagram and all the poses on social media that look beautiful. They look perfect. I hate that word, but perfect. And that's not the point of yoga. It's not what it looks like. It's about how it feels. And moving your body, stretching your body, your tissues, your muscles, feels good. So find a way to do that.
Absolutely. And then that will increase your flexibility.
It will. That's one of the happy side effects of yoga is your flexibility and your mobility, but also your body awareness, your proprioception really increases. And that helps you get better and better all the time. And muscle memory also is a thing that you build.
Well, can yoga help somebody tone their body?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you have a good teacher who is encouraging you to feel where you need to be activating, which areas of the body, which muscles in the poses, in order to do them in a way that's supportive for you and builds strength and endurance. Yes. 100%.
So we've got about a minute left. Awesome. And I know that not only do you teach yoga classes and do all the wonderful things that you do, you actually train people to teach yoga.
Yeah, so I have a yoga teacher training program. This will be my 8th year running it, which is mind-boggling to me, but I'm really excited about it. And every year it's unique because we have a unique group of people. I do it locally in Orangeville. And there's also an online component. So you get like a pose library, you get all the information that you need from myself to teach effectively and safely. And it's such a journey. It's all about transformation, and it's amazing.
Lauren, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It was totally my pleasure. And I want to thank you for joining us today as well. Until next time, bye-bye for now. So we're still on.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
I still remember the games, the laughter, the footsteps.